First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And yeah, basically, this is an article that I saw. Now, we starting to see these blackouts, okay, and this energy crisis, as they keep calling it, all right, get more intense, okay, and as we've been saying that you had the warnings about impending blackouts coming, right? Warnings about the electricity demand being so high, that it's gonna cause blackouts and lead to power outages. But now we're at the point where you have certain areas that are already facing power outages. I believe certain parts in Ohio, okay, and now as you can see here, it says Australia's energy crisis worsens as government asks people to keep lights off to avert blackouts. You hear that? They're telling you keep the lights off. Australia's energy minister asked Sydney and New South Wales, eastern part of the country, residents to turn off lights and energy-intensive appliances in the evening to prevent power blackouts due to an ongoing energy crunch, the Independent reports. And here's the thing: it's not, like you may think, oh, you're hearing of energy shortages, energy crisis here and there, but it's not just in one location. Okay, this is all the way in Australia, but you also got certain parts here in the U.S. that are, that they've been warning about, are facing, rolling blackouts. Okay, which soon could just be certain areas that just lose power. Okay, so it says the federal energy, and this is how it starts. Okay, this is how it starts. Maybe this is the beginning to a dark winter. Who knows? It says, the federal energy minister, Chris Bowen, asked residents in a televised address to turn off energy-intensive devices between 6 to 8 p.m. to mitigate risks of a spike in power during peak hours. He pointed to several offline coal-fired plants because of maintenance and unexpected issues. Wow. It says Reuters notes that 65% of Eastern Australia's power is generated by coal, but more than a quarter of that capacity is offline. So now what? And I mean, it's very plausible that they could say people weren't listening, and so it caused a spike in demand and during peak hours, and now the whole joint is shut off, it's shut down. Right? You would think that they would be taking better precautions in a time like this, but they're shutting down them power plants left and right. It says wholesale electricity prices have soared and on Monday exceeded the capped price of a $300 per megawatt hour. Above a $300, coal power generation plants lost money and forced some operators to shutter power generation units, thus removing energy capacity off the grid and sending prices even higher. So not only are you going to be facing high food prices, which it's about to get, just horribly bad, okay, and shortages, which is adding on to that, because when something is scarce, it costs more. But if something is scarce, it costs more. Plus you have inflation or whatever the case is, the price is just gonna be insane. Okay? So like in this case, they're saying here that, this is removing the energy capacity. That's going to send your prices even higher. So your energy bill comes in. The energy bill comes in and you're like, yo, what's going on here? Right? So it says the rise of power prices began when coal prices jumped following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So when you follow this and you trace it back, you see where they like to point it. That's the narrative now. Okay? And that's the narrative they're going to keep using as long as they feel like they need to drive whatever other factors that they want. Okay? So it says Bowen snapped at a journalist when asked if more coal is the answer I'm guessing that should say to the energy crunch. It says Chris Bowen isn't having any of Ullman's wind. Ullman's wind doesn't always blow our rhetoric. The rain doesn't always fall either, but we manage to store the water. We can store renewable energy if we have the investment. So let's take a look at this.
Mr. Energy Minister, just before this press conference began, 56% of the national electricity market was being run by black and brown coal, 15% by gas. The wind on the market was less than 1/3 of installed capacity at 10%. In South Australia, 25%, sometimes it can get up to 90%. So isn't part of the supply problem the fact that you cannot direct wind into the market? The only thing you can do is to keep the coal-fired generators going to their end of life and to fix the ones that you've got now and to include them in any capacity market. Isn't that the short-term fix?
No. I know that's been a long-held view of yours. It's not one I agree with. The problem is there hasn't been enough investment in renewable energy. The problem is there hasn't been enough... No, you've asked your question, Chris, so I'm going to answer it. There hasn't been enough investment in storage. Yes, you can say the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. Well, the rain doesn't always fall either, but we manage to store the water. We can store the renewable energy if we have the investment. And that is investment that has been lacking for the last decade. That's the problem.
Oh, there's that. Says here now, the situation in recent days has posed challenges to the entire energy industry and suspending the market. See, because when they say a global energy shortage, that means exactly what it says. In that sense, right? A global energy shortage. So the world, all right, the globe. So America, Australia, UK, different parts of Europe. It says, and suspending the market would simplify operations during the significant outages across the energy supply chain. Australian energy market operator Chief Executive Daniel Westerman said in a statement, it was understandable generators had held back supply in light of price caps, along with unplanned outages and supply challenges with coal and gas. But having to direct generators to provide supply and had made it impossible to maintain normal market operations. Australia's dysfunctional power grid hasn't stopped at coal. In the last 3 weeks, declining solar output and periods of low wind have created power generation challenges which have placed a heavier burden on fossil fuel generators. Okay, let's see. Also, the coldest start to a winter season in decades is boosting heating demand and worsening the problem. Man, it says Australia better find a way to bring more coal power plants online or risk widespread blackouts amid high demand because of the winter chill. So now we're at the point where governments are asking, or this government in particular, is asking the people to keep the lights off between 6 to 8 p.m. to save energy. So there's an energy crisis going on, and this is going to become commonplace here in the U.S. as well. Okay, energy crisis, food shortage, food crisis, and inflation, all these things are happening, and yet you still, oh man, still got people out here just la-di-da-di-da. That's all right. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 13. See, we're giving you the warning. Okay, we're giving you the warning. These are the final warnings. Matter of fact, maybe that's a lesson right there. Let me save that. Slack, let me write that down. I'll probably do this tomorrow. These are the final warnings. And that's exactly what they are. These are the final warnings, that we're giving you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. And if you don't take heed, there ain't nothing else left for you. There's no more stops. There's no more time left. All right, this is it. So you know what I mean, you better get on it. Right? You got a lot of people that are just out here like it's all sweet. You don't have time. All right, you don't have time. Zephaniah 1 and 13. Therefore their goods shall become a booty, which is a spoil, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and it hasteth, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. All right, ultimately going into these armies and their troops, but that's how bad. Matter of fact, verse 15 is going to tell you. It says that day is a day of wrath. Whose wrath? The wrath of the Most High. Why? Because of the wickedness that's done in this land. Because of the pollution, okay, that is going on in the earth. Just like in the time of Noah. And this time the Lord, he's going to deliver his elect, yeah, but he's coming to bring some serious wrath to this place. It says a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. And what's ultimately going to do that? Those nuclear missiles. Those thermonuclear missiles, when World War III goes nuclear, all right, and the laser beams from the chariot of the Lord, the chariots that the Lord is coming with the angels with. It says a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Okay, and that's what's coming. So these people with common sense will see this, as the scriptures say in Proverbs, the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So with common sense, you'd see this and you'd understand, yo, man, this ain't the time to be playing no games. It's time to be serious. It's time to, stay in the spirit and stay alert, and do everything you can to remain in the good graces and the mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because we're at that point. All right, in summer, as we go through the summer and we'll watch and see what happens. But the forecast for it is that prices of things are just going to keep on flying. And by the time you hit the fall, where you start to really see where you stand, the fall might just be the fall of this economy. It just might be the fall, the collapse. Okay, so, let's watch and see. But I just wanted to bring this out, show you that this is what's going on. Things are already starting. All right, and now this is the point where they're at. And it's only going to get worse. Okay, it's only going to get worse from here. So anyway, with that, I hope you were edified and informed. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.